Now here, you see, agency versus communion. My friend David Beckham from York University, he's dead now, I think. He wrote a very famous book, The Duality of Human Nature. And human nature has two basic needs. The need for autonomy, for agency, for freedom, for achievement, for self-actualization. That's other basic human need. For communion, we want to belong to somewhere. A sense of belonging. We belong to a family. We belong to a meetup group. We belong to a church. The need for belonging is just as strong as the need for autonomy and freedom. So you cannot manage. Agency means self-regulation. You regulate your emotion, you regulate your action. Communion, I mean, you regulate how you relate to the group. Okay? So that's even important. How you regulate your relationship to the group as a whole. Okay? Relational regulation. Remember, the brain is basically relational. The brain is relational. The brain is basically relational and emotional. It's not just rational. Okay? So emotional, relational aspects not managed. Like we talk about EQ, emotional intelligence. Now EQ is an important part of managing relationship because EQ means you understand other people's emotion, right? You understand how you feel, you understand your empathy, you see how other people feel. If you're able to read other people's emotion, then you know how to react, how to relate properly. But to manage agency and communion require more than EQ. Okay. Next slide shows this. Okay. That requires a way of thinking, right? When I got so mad, okay? Oh, I'm mad at him. He's so busy, he doesn't pay attention to my need. The more I think about that, the bigger the me, the bigger the anger.
Mm-hmm.
He's not meeting my need. I'll kill him. I'll blow him. I'll make sure he's miserable. Oh, sure, you feel for sure you kill him. But killing him, you also kill yourself, right? But killing your husband and your wife, you're killing yourself. When a relationship is destroyed, you suffer as much as he suffers. To treat me the we, you think about, oh, how can we meet our need, right? But talk to him, so how can we meet each other's need? You treat me to we, you can avoid many fights. You can avoid many conflicts. And here's another, see, when you change from me to we, what you do? You are advancing from self-actualization to self-transcendence. You remember Maslow? Before he think that self-actualization is the highest level, remember? Now he add the very high is self-transcendence. Now there is agreement among all researchers, among all people study well-being and relationship. Self-transcendence is the key to happiness.
Yes.
You have to devote yourself to something bigger than yourself in order to feel good about yourself. In the paradox, if you always think about me, you'll be the most miserable creature. I'm sorry. Oh, everybody is not cater to you. I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry for you. You'll be the most miserable people. Even think about other people. So I say, my purpose in life is to make my wife happy, okay? I try very hard to make her happy, and she try very hard to make me happy. That's why we still stay married after how many years?
46.
46 years. Right? They run away. They run away, right? They run away to have a happy marriage, a happy family. I then say, her interest, happiness more important than mine. And she thinks the same way, right? If both of us think that, oh, my happiness must be met first, then we'll have divorce. Right? My need comes first. And here's another big thing, okay? I say EQ is not enough. You know why? Because there's a basic attitude thing. And Martin Buber is a great Jewish philosopher. And he's saying that there are two fundamental ways of relating to people. One is I it. Not IT, not IT. I it. What it means that you're treating people as an instrument. Like some parents put a child out, like to make them a star, okay? They use the child as the it. We often treat people as an instrument. The other way what? The other way is the idol. Treating people as people, right? Treating people with the same honesty and sincerity as we treat God. The other way is treating people as utility. I can use you for my goal. What has no use for me, bye-bye. I don't need it anymore. You can't form a long relationship like that. I will keep you. I was so mad with a graduate student when I was doing research at UCLA. A PhD student, I talked to him. I said, he's a PhD student in psychology. I said, how about your marriage? He said, well, I'm quite happy. But after I graduate, got my PhD, if my wife no longer meet my need, I will dump her for another woman. Right? A lot of women work so hard to put their husband through law school, through medical school, through PhD program. But when the husband be successful, they say, oh, you're a high school graduate. You don't meet my need, you cannot fit in my circle of friends. They dump her to marry somebody else.
Is that the same, would you say, as love God and your neighbor as yourself?
Yeah. The same thing, I mean, you treat, see, we're all naked before God, right? I mean, we can't hide, right? So we stand before God with honesty, with sincerity, we cannot hide anything. So when you treat people, you all treat people as God's creation, right? As your brother and sister, as your neighbor, not as an instrument to be used. People use people, that's our horrible part. Now, for example, when you go date somebody, okay? Dating, or when you go to meet somebody, now, how do you present yourself? Do you want to be authentic, present your real self, or do you want to, like on Facebook, not Facebook, on the like internet dating? Often the picture is not a real person. Maybe the hair transplanted to the body. Maybe the face completely airbrush. Look younger, 10 years younger. I mean, what trying to do? You can't get a real relationship through deception, right? In my case, the guy told me, he broke up with his girlfriend. And why? He said, oh, she actually 10 years older than I am. But he misrepresent herself. And later on, he discovered that he's actually 10 years older. He said, I don't mind 10 years older, but you told me the truth, right? Don't lie to me, how I trust you. People think, if you treat people as it, Then what? You are engaging in manipulation and deception and control. Every time parents try to control the children, they treat the children as it. You don't deceive for their good, but they don't consider their feeling. Alright? So whenever you try to control, manipulate, or deceive, you are not treating another person as a person, you're treating another person as an instrument. So this is a fundamental concept, how you treat other people as a person. Be honest. Of course, you don't spill out all your guts the first date, all right? You don't tell the person the whole life history, right? People say, oh, well, you must be mental. But be honest, right? You review yourself as relationship getting closer. We talk about peeling the onion skin, right? Self-disclosure is related to how close you are, right? You don't take to everything in an hour. They scatter away, and that also is not normal. Yeah. Okay, here the media-centered approach. Consider here. Thank you.
Take it easy.
Now, this is the purpose, understanding. What happened to art?
I don't know, the color didn't transfer
The
properly.
color show up.
It's there.
It's there, it's in purple.
It's there.
It's purple. Yeah.
Oh, it's a purple light. But there's art there, okay? That's what I'm saying, yeah. The trust Jessica, okay, there's art there. Okay. Now purpose. Okay? Now if husband and wife do not share the same purpose, sooner or later they will have a problem. Do have the same core value. So that's why I say that interracial marriage or interfaith marriage is always more difficult. You know why? Because you're brought up with some values. You just can't just forget about the values you're brought up with. So how do you accept and tolerate dual value system? So that's a main consideration in understanding interfaith, interracial marriage. That's a big hurdle you have to overcome. To have the same idea about what constitutes a fulfilling life. Are there anything that enjoy doing together? If we don't have anything in common, you don't enjoy doing anything together, then you marry people. What do you want to accomplish together? Do you have any common project? Do you have the same priority in planning for the future? Right. So I'll take a similar question you have to consider. If you don't have anything in common, you go different directions. It's difficult to keep the marriage healthy. So in premarital counseling, so the one big area is that about values and goals and purpose. The other part is understanding is the first step to acceptance. So here about understanding, do you understand what your spouse is going through? Do you understand her pain, her silent cry? Do you understand her fear and anxieties, her hope and aspirations? That's what I was talking to the wife now. Do you understand the struggle your husband is going through at work? Do you understand her fear of insecurity, fear of failure he's struggling with? Do you understand each other at the deeper level? That calls for empathy and compassion and communication. Right? Now here, this is also an understanding. That means what? Often husband and wife misunderstand each other or misperceive each other and then get a big fight for nothing. Because perception is wrong. No, you will see your husband, your wife being hugging somebody or being intimate with, talking intimately. There might be a special situation. So you don't jump to the conclusion that he had an affair with the person or whatever. You know, people jump to the conclusion all the time. Never bother to find out what happened. And it even doesn't give the husband a chance. What happened? Run away, jump to the conclusion that he had an affair. Or she had an affair. So if you misperceive, misunderstand what's going on, and then you create help for yourself. Okay, responsible action mean assume full responsibility for what's happening. Don't blame your spouse. Have you keep your promise? Do you forgive each other for their mistakes? So there are some examples about assuming responsibility for the well-being of the family or marriage. If a mother, a father, or a spouse is not willing to take responsibility, then you have a problem there. I'm saying that friendship or marriage is not a big thing. It's many small things, okay? Everything do to each other. It really takes time, okay? Small gestures. You know, like, you can express your care in so many small ways. Okay? And here is that sometimes the problem is you. If you cannot accept yourself, and then it's difficult for your husband to accept you, or for other people to accept you. You have to feel comfortable in your own skin. Right? If you are uncomfortable being you, then you always project yourself and happen to other people. Oh, they don't accept me. They don't accept you because you do not accept yourself. Right? How you want other people to accept you when you can't even accept yourself? Here is, supposedly, when you enjoy each other, then you'll be happy and healthy and productive. So we should try to enjoy each other. It's my vision for Meetup. We enjoy each other's company, try to build a community where people feel safe to come, where people feel happy to come. I cannot do it by myself, right? I need you, right? Let's create a community where people can feel safe, feel belonging, and can enjoy each other. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.